Coons that I didn't know the story before, but I just read it over the weekend. And he had a suit on, and he just had a round white shirt. And the story was told by Joe, Samuel's older brother. Joe lived to be 100. And he came up here one time, and I had a long visit with him. He came to the dental office. Anyway, he said,
Good job.
But in the history, it says that he had one of those starched collars on. He went to the dedication of the Salt Lake Temple. Samuel did. And he had one of these starched, and it kept poking him, and it was a really hot day.
They're never attached.
And he finally ripped that thing off and threw it away. And then his picture was taken with this shirt with a round and a suit on.
Oh my heavens. You know, man always had those stiff collars. Yeah.
It's like a dickie.
But anyway, about the Navy,
They can remove them.
the Public Health Service, they always says you are a commissioned officer of the Naval Corps. And when you're done, you're a veteran. But I wasn't in the uniform service, so I always kind of hesitated to stand up from the
You
veteran.
said you're, oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they told you were a veteran.
I was.
once you went.
They said you're as much a Navy man as any person in the Navy. That is Public Health Service. It's just an arm.
Yeah.
And we just did dental care for any uniformed service, Army, Navy, Air Force.
So you did exactly what Kate's doing.
We did, only it was the main people we took care of were merchant marines.
Oh.
Because way back when the
In
government
Texas.
formed the merchant marines, they set up hospitals in Galveston, one in California, one in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
There were about 5 or 7 hospitals on the coast
Oh.
where merchant marines had a deal that our medical and dental would be taken care of. They would become part of the merchant marines.
What is it, what's your term?
They're ship sailors,
Oh, okay.
and even the shrimpers qualified. You know, these guys that had shrimp boats and out of Galveston,
Yeah.
they qualified for free dental medical care.
So is anyone working on the ocean basically, or out on the water?
So,
Pardon?
Anyone working out on the waterways?
Well, if they were part of the merchant marines,
so you should be getting
it's
discounts.
like almost like a union type thing.
So you should be getting discounts because you're a veteran.
I should be doing a lot of things.
Not just senior citizen.
Dad, I found something.
Did you
It's
have
a
to bring
puzzle.
that up?
Well, because your CJ
Papa
gets
Joe
cheaper.
Puppy? Can I puzzle
Yeah,
it?
that's the only thing that.
It's about the same as senior,
When we get back from Heidi's.
over 65.
But for veterans, maybe for veterans, it's a better deal.
Yeah.
Dad, can
Well, I could have stayed as an active
Dad, can
reserve,
I puzzle it at Heidi's?
but
You can take it to Grandma. To
I
Heidi's.
just
That's
didn't want
Grandma's.
any chance of getting drafted.
Can I puzzle it here? Right now?
Well,
No, because you're going to Heidi's.
and they offered.
Take it up to the
and
table.
I'd have had to go once a year, and my life was busy.
Yeah. And so how long did you do that for?
I went a year to Texas,
Okay.
and then in Texas there was my chief was an oral surgeon,
You can
and
take it up to
the
the table.
other military career man
Don't
was
stop.
a prosthodontist. He was great with dentures, he was one of the best in the country. And then there,
Lots of them, didn't you?
and then there was a student, or there was a guy that was 2 years ahead of me in school. Well, 1 year ahead of me in school, that went to Oregon. That his job was operatives and teaches, just general dentistry, and he had been there a couple of years. No, he's 2 years. He'd been there 2 years, and so he did his 2 years there. And when my 2 years was about up, I knew I was staying in for 2 more years, and they called me from Baltimore. That's the headquarters. And they said, "We usually don't do this, but we're going to give you a choice. You can either stay and teach the new interns. There'll be 2 new interns come in, and stay your next 2 years in Galveston, or you can go to Lame Deer, Montana."
Oh.
Well, you had a choice too, that of whether to go to prisons or,
No, well,
Oh, I
I
thought
know,
that they
but
did.
that was the two assignments they gave me.
oh, okay.
The public health service also covered all the federal prisons. They did the medical. I didn't want to do that.
No. Well, and you did it up here.
And anyway, they said, we'll give you one day to think about it. Let us know tomorrow.
Oh,
And I
no
called them,
pressure.
called them the next day and said, Lame Deer, Montana.
How did you feel about that?
And that's what she wanted to.
Oh, you did?
It's a lot closer to home.
Okay.
You
And
wanted to come home,
Yeah.
we,
and us.
my chief, everybody on staff, they said, "Are you crazy? You'll freeze to death and die in Lame Deer, Montana. You ever looked at the temperature in the winter? You stay here? Are you crazy?"
Say I'm an Idaho boy.
Say it's actually still an upgrade.
So, you were in Lame Deer for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, you were in Galveston for what, 1 year? Or, and so you started though your junior year,
So I did an internship in Galveston.
so that was your internship.
We had a great experience. We had professors from the University of Texas come down almost every other week. And as far as periodontal surgery, where people lost bone around the roots of their teeth, and we had all those emergency, they were
Rough.
retired military. See, back then, Cape Canaveral was just outside of Houston, and so then they moved it to Florida. You know, Cape Canaveral now. But Cape Canaveral, where the moonshot and all that kind of stuff, it was at Houston, so right by us. And so all the retired military officers